Hello, I'm Will and this is Mike with the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And in this video we're looking at issue 69 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine, which came with the first half of a Goliath Rockgrinder vehicle for the Genestealer Cults Combat Patrol. We'll be building that up in this issue, but not seeing it on the field yet, as we'll be playing another Combat Patrol mission for our ongoing campaign. We have the build guide for the Goliath Rockgrinder. This is quite an involved build guide because it's got quite a lot of parts. It's a rather large vehicle, starting off by putting together the main body pieces, and then once that's finished, starting to add some details like exhaust pipes and hatches and equipment that goes on them. There's a note about putting the axles in the correct slots, because they could go in one or two positions, but for this one you want to put them in the upper location. And for the Combat Patrol, the Rockgrinder is equipped with a clearance incinerator, which this gives the parts for here. It does have a couple of other ranged weapon options, which you could probably make possible to swap out if you put some time into it. But once that's finished, you don't want to glue it in, because firstly it can swivel in place, but also to make it easier to paint. Same with the wheels, put them together but don't glue them on yet. And the crew, who you have a couple of options with, including whether to put them on at all. You could actually have the hatches closed. And again, suggest not attaching those yet to make them easier to paint. It also has a large dozer blade with rock grinding wheels on the front. There are quite a lot of these individual wheels and you need to put them together in the correct order. And also you want to make sure that the saw blades themselves are angled in the correct direction. So follow the guide closely to make sure that is correct. And then you probably do want to dry fit it to the hull to make sure the connection points line up properly, but not actually glue it in place, since it'll again make painting easier. And then there is the final assembly step, but again, leave these sub-assemblies for now. We'll be painting in the next issue. In this one, we have more background on the Genestealer Cults. Nobody really knows how long Genestealer Cults have existed within the Imperium. Obviously, they are started by Tyranid vanguard organisms, the Genestealers, but those have been known to be in the Imperium since before the Tyranid Hive fleets arrived, so quite how long is a mystery. And each cult is fanatically devoted to its patriarch, but also have local idiosyncrasies, depending on their culture and the nature of the world they are based on. And there are a few examples here where you can see how certain local conditions influence the character of the cult. Then there's a short piece of fiction called A Custom Job, where an orc war boss needs some impressive guns from his mechs and so goes along to their shop to see what they've got available. But in classic orc fashion, the technology doesn't work quite as intended, although it's still fairly spectacular. In contrast to that, there are some orcs who prefer the old ways, finding technology and flashy contraptions to be inferior to a good old chopper for hitting people with. Such orcs are typically fairly primitive and are often expert breeders of various species of squig that they often ride into battle and use for other purposes. Some of the largest of these are known as the Beast Snaggers, who like nothing more than hunting down huge savage creatures and taking trophies from them. And there's a particularly legendary one called Mosrog Scragbad, who rides a gigantic squigosaur called Big Chomper. Finally, the collection article for the Goliath Rockgrinder. These are industrial vehicles, widespread in the Imperium on mining worlds, but their heavy protection from rockfalls is also very useful in an armed uprising, where the Genestealer Cults will often fit them with weaponry and drive them into battle, where their rock saws can even be useful for destroying armoured positions and forcing their way through barricades. As usual, you can roll for its background, give it a name and record its deeds. And finally, its datasheet, which we'll need next issue. But I'll hand you over to Mike now, who will give us the details of the full Combat Patrol game we're going to be playing in this video.
So, as usual with these Part 1 issues, we'll have to wait to see our Goliath Rockgrinder in action. There are no new rules or games for this issue, so it just has a couple more campaigns to go over. The first one is Genestealer Cults versus Orcs on Clash of Patrols. And there you can see the victory outcomes for the games, and if that's the final campaign game, if you've been following along with that. And then the second game is Genestealer Cults vs Leagues of Votann on Display of Might. And once again we have the victory outcomes for the mission and the campaign. So the game we are actually going to be playing for this game is Tyranids vs Leagues of Votann on Display of Might. So we'll get the game set up and get into it. So here we are set up with Tyranids on the left and Votann on the right, and I'm going to be playing the Tyranids in this game while Will will be playing the Leagues of Votann. We'll have a look at the Tyranid deployment first. So in my deployment zone, I've got the Barb Gaunts closest to the board edge, and then the two units of Termites in the middle with the Winged Tyranid Prime behind and the Psychophage up near the top of the board. And then I have the Von Rein's Leapers infiltrated near Objective 1 in the middle of the board. And my enhancement is going to be a Psychostatic Veil for the Tyranid Primes. He has a Lone Operative, a 4+ invulnerable save, and minus 1 hit in melee. And I'm going to pick Alpha Xenoform for my secondary. And here we can see the Votann deployment.
So I've brought the Ionia Hearthguard instead of the Chthonian Berserks because they have shooting and they're also quite tough and the Tyranids don't have much AP. I'm hoping they'll last quite a long time. They're on the left side as you see it. In the centre we have the Hearthkin Warriors as a single unit led by the Carl, and then the Hernkin Pioneers are on the right of your picture, on the flank. The Carl will have Waste Feeds the Voids as his enhancement, so models in his unit can reroll ones to hit with shooting and can shoot in a turn in which they fell back. And I'm going to do the Settler Grudge secondary objective, so from the second battle round onwards I can select an enemy unit with a judgment token, and if it's destroyed by the end of that battle round I get 4 victory points.
And a quick reminder of the rules for Display of Might. You get 5 victory points at the end of your command phase for holding 1 objective, 5 points for holding 2, 5 points for having claimed an objective. To claim an objective, you need to have a character and then any number of models on an objective at the end of your command phase, and then that objective is claimed, and then that objective remains claimed as long as any of the models involved in claiming it are still contesting it, and you get 5 victory points as well if you claim an objective for 2 turns in a row. So you get a maximum of 20 victory points in 1 turn, and you can only claim the 2 objectives in No Man's Land, which are 1 and 4. And the mission rule is that you can't use Insane Bravery unless you're within 6 inches of your Warlord. Rolling off to see who goes first. Well, I rolled a 4, so the Tyranids are going to be going first. So we'll head into Tyranids turn 1. So looking at the bottom of the board, we can see that the Outriders did make a small scout move to get closer to objective 4. And then zooming out, you can see both termagants advanced. Fortunately, the unit closest to the bottom of the board only rolled a 1, which I re-rolled into a 1. So the other unit had to advance to get onto objective 4. The Psychophage and the Tyranid Prime are going behind the Plasma Regulated with the Von Ryan's Leapers to be on objective 1, so I can claim it. And then the Barbagants moved out just so they can see the Outriders as well. And both units of termagants and the Barbagants are going to shoot at the Outriders.
And I'm going to spend my command point for Scheme Rock Physiology, giving them +1 to their save.
So shooting with the Barbagants first. 21 shots hitting on 4s. You've got 11 hits, wounding on 5s. 1 went out the box. 4 wounds.
3+ saves with Scheme Rock Physiology. We're fine.
Termagant's got 3 wounds between them.
More 3+ saves. Take a wound.
So that's going to be it for my shooting and my turn. We'll head into Votann turn 1.
So in the command phase, I put a judgment token on the Psychophage with the Carl's ability. The movement's been fairly cautious. The Hearthguard have moved forward, so they get their grenade launchers in range of the Termagant unit on objective 4. The Carl's unit has moved forward, so they are actually in range of things. And the Pioneers have reversed away because otherwise they'll just get clogged up with Termagants. They're not going to take objective 4 at this point, so they've gone around the back of the terrain, but they can see the Psychophage. I'll start shooting with the Ionia Hearthguard. They're going to shoot the Termagants on objective 4 because it's the only target they can see.
I'll spend a CP put hyperreactive on those Termagants to see if I can help them live a bit longer.
Oh, they're grenade launchers, they're blasts, so these will be d6 plus 2 shots each. It's cocked. Do these in 2 batches of 14 because I don't have enough red dice. Now these are hitting on 4s because of the hyperreactive. 7 from the first batch. 9 from the second is 16 hits. Wounding on 3s. Box. 12 wounds at no AP.
So it looks like 5 of the Termagants will have cover from that angle, so they've got 4+ saves. Only made 1, so that's 4 dead. Still got a guy in cover, who is now dead. And then 6 more 5+ saves. Well, made 5 of them.
And the Vulcanite Disintegrators is another 15 shots hitting on 4s as well. That was 8 hits, wounding on 3s as well, 6 is a devastating wounds. Well, 3 devastating wounds and 4 other wounds, and no AP.
4 5+ saves. I failed 2, and with the 3 mortal wounds, that's going to be able to kill them.
Next I'll do the Hernkin Pioneers, shooting at the Psychophage. They can all just about see it with their autocannons and the rotary cannon. Autocannons hitting on 3s because of the judgment token. Only 2 hits, wounding on 5s. Nope. And 6 shots from the rotary cannon, also on 3s. 4 hits and wounding on 5s as well. 1 wound at -1 AP.
4+ armor save, failed, with a 5+ feel no pain, failed, takes a wound.
Hearthkin Warriors will put all their weapons into the Psychophage as well. Start with the Magna Rail Rifle. Hits on a 4 because it's a 5, but the Judgment Token. It hits anyway. Wounds on a 3 because it's strength 12. 6 is a devastating wounds. Oh, no, that's a 1. I do actually have a command point and it'd be quite good at this wounded, and I don't really need it for anything else. So that's a wound at -3.
6 up armor, failed.
D3 plus 3 damage. 4.
Feel no pain, shrug 3 of them, down to 8.
I'll do the Carls, 3 shots on 2s. Rerolling 1s because of his enhancement, so 3 hits, wounding on 5s, but these are devastating wounds. A wound and a devastating.
So 3 plus save for the wound. Nope. 2 5+ feel no pains. Ignored 1. It's down to 7.
Highland's auto rifle is only 3 shots because it's not in rapid fire on 3s. Rerolling 1s. 1 hit only, still. Wounds on 5. Oh, it did, -1.
4+ armour. Nope. Feel no pain. Nope. Down to 6.
Finally 7 ion blasters, which hit on 3s. Rerolling 1s. 4 hits, wounding on 5s. 1 at -2 AP.
5 up armour. All made it. And that'll be it for the Votann turn, no charges. On to Tyranids turn 2. So in the command phase I will gain 15 victory points because I hold 2 objectives and 1 was claimed by the Tyranid Prime, who is going to have to stay there for a little while. The Von Ryan's Leapers and the Psychophage have moved out into the middle, hopefully do some charging. Termagants moved to take objective 4 and get into that cover by the crater, while the Barb Gaunts have moved so they can shoot at the Hearthkin Warriors. And I'm going to start the shooting phase with the Barb Gaunts, and I think one of them can see the Hearthguard, so it will shoot at them, trying to apply the debuff, while the rest of them will shoot at the Hearthkin Warriors.
And I'll spend a command point again for Scale of Physiology, so +1 save.
So we'll do the shots on the Hearthkin Warriors, 4d6 plus 2, 28 shots. First batch 14 hitting on 4s, get them all in the box. 8 from the first batch. 6 from the second batch, so 14 hits, wounding on 4s, because we're strength 5, beat up 5. 7 wounds in total.
With a 3+ save, thanks to Scale of Physiology. Failed 1, and I have a 6+ Feel No Pain from the Medipack. Oh, yes.
Then shooting at the Hearthguard, 3 times with blast, hitting on 4s. We got a hit, that's the important part. And wounding on 5s, I believe. No, but they get debuffed. Termagants are also going to shoot at the Hearthkin Warriors. 1 whole wound from the Termagants.
3+. Oh, goes through. Medipack. Killed 1.
Then the Psychophage is going to shoot at them as well. D6 shots from the Psychophage. 5. That automatically hit. Wounding on 3s, because it's strength 6. That's only 2 wounds at -1.
It does ignore cover, but Scale of Physiology just increases their save. It's not a cover bonus, so they do get it with 4s. Lose 1. Medipack. Oh, saved again.
And then we'll be on to the charge phase, where the Leapers will charge the Hearthkin Warriors. And their charge roll is a 6, which I think is just enough. So the Leapers going like that, and the Psychophage is going to try and charge the Hearthguard. Does need a fairly big roll though. An 8 might be enough. So I'll do the Von Ryan's Leapers first. I'm going to spend a CP for Voracious Assault so they can reroll hit rolls. 18 attacks from Leapers on 3s rerolling. 7 misses to reroll. 15 hits in total. Wounding on 4s. 7.
5+ saves. Made 2, and then we got 5 from the Medipack. 5 Feel No Pains. Made 1, so we lose 4.
Psychophage gets to go. D6 plus 1 attacks for 4 on 3s. Getting 3 hits, strength 6, so wounding on 4s. 1 wound at -1.
3+ save. Yes. Warriors fighting back will actually start with the Carl. 3 attacks hitting on 3s with his Mass Gauntlet. Gets 2 hits, wounding on 3s because it's strength 8. Just the 1 at -2 AP.
So 6+ vulnerable. Ooh, made it.
The Warrior Thane's Kin melee weapon on 4s. 2 hits, wounding on 4s, strength 5. Nope. Hearthkin. Get 2 hits, they're wounding on 5s. Just 1.
4+ armour. Failed. Take a wound.
The Hearthguard fighting back against the Psychophage. 3 attacks each on 2s because of the Judgment token. 11 hits, wounding on 5s. Get more in the box. 3 wounds at -2.
5+ armour. Made 1. 5+ Feel No Pain. Shrugged 1. Down to 5 wounds. That's it for my turn, so I'll be on to Votann turn 2.
So I'm going to bump up the Psychophage to 2 Judgment tokens with the Carl.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use Shadow in the Warp now, I think.
Everything is leadership 7, so the Pioneers fail, they're battle shocked. The Carl's unit passes, and the Hearthguard pass. So the Hearthguard have fallen back because they wouldn't be able to shoot anyway if they're in melee, and by doing this I make it easier to hit the Psychophage, which I need to kill for 4 victory points for my secondary. The Carl's unit can fall back and shoot because of his enhancement, and the Pioneers are just moved up behind them. So with shooting, we'll start with the Pioneers. They'll put everything into the Psychophage, except their shotgun things, which will go into the Leapers, I think. And we'll spend a CP for Pound Spectral Suite to give them lethal hits. So starting with the auto cannons on the Psychophage, will be 9 shots hitting on 3s because of the Judgment token with lethal hits. 2 lethal hits but only 3 other hits, which will be winning on 4s because of the 2 Judgment tokens, so it's a +1 to wound. Another one, so that's 3 wounds at -1.
So 4+ armour, 2 go through, 5+ feel no pain, shrugged 1, it's down to 2 wounds.
The rotary cannon is 6 shots on 3s. These are lethal and sustained hits. But I didn't roll any 6s. Also winning on 4s. No wounds. And then 6 shots with the bolt shotguns on 5s because there are no judgment tokens and stealth. 2 lethal hits and a hit, which did wound because it's strength 5. So 3 wounds at no AP on the Leapers.
4+ armour, failed 1, so Leaper takes a wound.
And the Car's unit will put everything into the Psychophage as well because I need to kill it for the 4 victory points. So Magna Rail Rifle on a 4 because of the Judgment token, yes, and a 3 to wound, or 2 to wound actually. Oh, it's a devastating wound.
So it's dead.
It might be able to make some feel no pain, so I have to roll damage. It's 4 damage.
Feel no pains. Fail, only made 1, so it's dead. Does it explode on a 6? No.
Well, I do get 4 victory points from that, but that's the end of my turn because I can't declare any charges with those units that fell back.
So we're on to Tyranids turn 3. So in my command phase I gain 20 victory points because again I hold 2 objectives, that's 5 each. I've claimed an objective and I've held a claim objective for more than 1 turn with the model that claimed it, which is the Tyranid Prime. So I'm up to 35. So my only real movement is going to be some Tyranids who are going to shuffle so they're all in the crater. The Tyranid Prime will shuffle this way a bit just to make it a little bit harder for the Hearthguard to come get him. Then in the reinforcement step I'll spend a command point to add a new unit of 2d6 Termagants to my army. Of 12. Unfortunately I only have 10. So I'll bring in my unit at the top, and it is battle round 3 now, so I can be in the Votann deployment zone, and 9 inches away from the Hearthguard. Going to start shooting with the Barb Gaunts. One of them will shoot at the Hearthguard, and the other 4 will fire at the Warriors. Do the shots on the Hearthguard first, because I think they're the most important. So 3 plus blast is 4 shots, hitting on 3s, because we didn't move. 3 hits, so they are debuffed. Wounded on 5s, nothing, but never mind. And on the Warriors, 4d6 plus 1 each. 15 shots on 3s. 10 hits, wounded on 4s. 4 wounds at no AP.
4 pluses. Failed 1. Medipack. Nope.
And both units of Termagants are going to shoot the same unit as well. They can all just about see a member of it. I'll do this squad of Termagants next, because there is a chance that they'll kill off the medic in the squad, so I can't roll them all together, because if I kill the medic, I feel no pain. Only 1 hit from those Termagants, but at least it wounded.
Failed to save. And the medipack roll.
2 wounds from the other Termagants.
1 goes through, and kills another one.
That'll be all my shooting. In the charge phase, the Leapers will charge the Hearthkin Warriors.
But I think the Hearthguard will overwatch them when they declare the charge. 5d6 grenade launcher shots. Oh, only 10 shots hitting on 6s. Oh, alright, well, 5 hits as though they'd shot a lot more. Winning on 5s. 3 wounds.
4 plus armour. Oh, made them all.
Yeah, and then all the Vulcanite disintegrators. 3 hits. Winning on 4s. 6s are devastating. We've got 1 wound and 1 mortal.
So 4 plus save for the wound saved, but the mortal is enough to kill a Leaper. And the Leaper's charge roll is a 6. 2 Leapers getting in. I'll spend a CP for Voracious Assault once again. 12 attacks on 3s re-rolling. So they all hit. Wounding on 4s. 7 wounds at -1.
We can start rolling these 2 at a time on the 2 warriors. 1 takes a wound, but the medipack's still there. Dead, that will be the unit leader. So it's just the medipack 1 who takes a wound and dies, and then there are 4 left on the Carl who will still get the medipack because he doesn't technically count as dying until the end of the attack sequence. But he has a 4 plus invulnerable save either way. Oh, he still takes 3 damage potentially. Medipack doesn't save any, so he's down to 1 wound remaining. So the Carl gets to hit back, but because the bodyguard unit was destroyed by the Leapers, they get a judgment token as soon as the unit is destroyed, i.e. before he gets to attack back. So he will be hitting on 2s in return. Still managed to miss once. Wounding on 3s.
2 wounds, 6 plus invulnerable. Fail both.
No, so he just punches them both to death because it's 3 damage.
That'll be the end of my turn. On to Votann turn 3.
So I will only be gaining 5 because I still only have 1 objective, and the Carl is wounded, so he will be taking a battle shock test, which he succeeded on. So the Carl advanced, he got a decent roll, so he actually gets in range of objective 4, so if I manage to clear these termagants off, I can actually claim that one. The Hearthguard look like they haven't moved, but they have. They're just slowed down by the Barb Gaunts. And I put a Judgment Token on the termagants near objective 4. I also stayed away from the termagants in my back line so that they can't reactive move towards my home objective, because that would be bad. Then on to shooting, I'll start with the Hearthguard, they're going to put everything into those termagants in the back line. So 5d6 grenade launcher shots plus 2 each. 24 shots hitting on 3s. 16 shots wounding on 3s. 10 wounds.
10 5+ saves. Only made 2, so it's 2 left.
And 15 Vulcanite shots also on 3s. 3s, 6s are devastating. There's 2 devastating wounds.
They're all gone.
Then I've got the Pioneers, they're going to shoot everything into the termagants on objective 4.
Yeah, and I'll spend a CP for hyperreactive to counteract the Judgment Token.
So the autocannons are back to hitting on 4s. There's only 2 hits in general. And 1 wound.
So we've got cover, so 5+. Nope, lose a termagant.
6 shots from the High-Las rotary cannon, hitting on 4s, sustained hits 1. So 4 hits, wounding on 2s because it's strength 6. Oh, 4 wounds at -1.
5s again. Made 1, lose 3 more. 4 dead termagants.
And bolt shotguns on 4s as well. 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2.
4+ armour. Made 1 failed 1.
Now the Pioneers will declare a charge on those termagants. Well, 7's good, so they get in comfortably. Then the Hearthguard are going to declare a charge on the Tyranid Prime. Because they're slowed down, it's going to probably be like a 9 or a 10. But they got a 9, that might be enough, I'll have to measure it. They needed a 10, that was 1 inch short. I'm going to re-roll it because if I don't get it in and at least take the objective off him, then the Tyranids will get another 20 victory points next turn, and that's basically the game won at that point. So, looking for the 10. No. So that probably decides the game on points, but we'll do the melee attacks from the Pioneers at least. They have 2 attacks each, hitting on 4s. 3s because of the Judgment Token, thankfully, so that saved them rather. Winning on 3s. 3 at no AP.
5+ armour saves. Made 2, failed 1. The termagants don't do anything on their hitbacks.
But I think we can call it there at the end of Votann turn 3. Because I got 14 points. I didn't get any from my secondary incidentally that turn because there was nothing with a Judgment Token at the start of the battle round for me to pick for it. And the Tyranids get another 20 points at the start of their turn, going up to 55. So there's just no way I can get enough points. The Carl can claim objective 4, which I don't even control if those termagants pass their Battleshock test. But it's just going to be too late, and he's only got 1 wound left as well. So I just don't have enough time to get enough points, I don't think.
So that'll be a Tyranid victory. I'm going to recap that for you now. So that was our game for issue 69 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine. How do you think that went?
Well, it didn't go too badly in terms of damage that I sustained, but your plan obviously was just to box me into my own deployment zone, and it worked quite well. There was just no way of scoring enough points by the end of the game. Most of my units performed quite well, I think. Pioneer's autocannons were a bit of a low light, but the Hearthguard were deleting termagant units. They were fine against the Psychophage.
But yeah, I think the Psychophage rolled pretty poorly for its armour saves, although fairly well for its Feel No Pain, so it probably evens out. Based I hemmed you in. You could have outflanked with the Pioneers, possibly could have gotten rid of the Barb Gaunts with that and contested my home objective, but that, you would have risked losing your own home objective at the same time. Yeah, I thought about it and then decided it ultimately wasn't really worth it, because I needed them on my end of the board to shoot things over there as much as I needed them on the other end of the board shooting Barb Gaunts or the Tyranid Prime, so slowing down the Hearthguard was also important because it meant that they were unable to contribute a great deal to the later turns. So they could have taken the Parasite of Mortrex and then been able to claim both objectives, but the Parasite of Mortrex doesn't have an invulnerable save. It does have Stealth and Low Knot, but it's still not particularly tough, and it's only really as good as a Von Ryan's Leaper in melee, so it probably would struggle to actually hurt Hearthkin. So I do think the Barb Gaunts were the right choice for slowing down the Hearthguard. They got a huge amount of shots over the course of the game as well, I think. I don't think they actually killed anything. Maybe a couple of warriors. True, actually, once you took into account armour saves and high toughness of the Votann, the actual damage was relatively limited, but... And I probably did make a mistake taking Objective 1 with the Leapers and the Tyranid Prime, and not a unit of Termagants as well, because then the Tyranid Prime had to stay there, so I wasn't able to get any secondary points, but it probably worked out in the end, because he probably would have just got killed. I arguably made a slight mistake from a score point of view by putting a second judgment token on the Psychophage in the turn where I needed to destroy it, because it meant at the start of the next battle round there was no eligible targets for my secondary because they have to have a judgment token on them, and nothing did. But on the other hand, if I hadn't put the judgment token on the Psychophage, I might not have killed it, and not got any points for that, so I don't know whether that was the right decision. You're very reliant as the Votann on the card putting judgment tokens on things because your units don't die very quickly. So enemy units are relatively slow to accumulate judgment tokens, and when you have so few units in the first place, you're only going to get a few.
few.
Yeah, and you only had 3 units because you didn't split the warriors in half. So.
Yeah. In a strange way, that would be an advantage of splitting the warriors into 2, is there's an extra judgment token available for killing them. Obviously, with their enhancement that the Carl had, letting them reroll 1s to hit and fall back and shoot, it made more sense to keep them in 1 unit because you get more benefit out of that.
Yeah, well, I think it's similar to when the Tyranids play the Space Marines, as there's just so many Tyranids that the Tyranids have too much board control, and the Votann struggle with it as well, apart from outflanking Pioneers.
I don't even think going first would have helped me all that much, because with the Leapers in a position to pounce on anything that moved too far forward, and most of my shooting being out of range in turn 1 anyway, even if I'd moved up, I don't think I would have achieved any great deal more than I would have done. Of course, you going first meant you managed to get a lot of units up the board, but I don't think I was ever really going to be playing to hold the No Man's Land objectives until the late game anyway.
Yeah, and the fact that you can get 20 victory points rather than the usual 15 as well will let me build up a huge lead.
Yeah, without making that very long charge with the Hearthguard in my turn 3, you would have been easily hitting 60 or so victory points, I think, by the end of the game.
But otherwise, I don't think there's actually too much more to say about this game or this issue. And I think the Tyranids, they are back up to 1 victory now, because I think they lost their previous game. I think the Eldari technically are winning the campaign with a 2-0 streak, but it might be a little while before we see them in action again, because in the next issue we'll have our new Goliath Rockgrinder. But otherwise, leave any comments if you've been getting the magazine, how you've been getting on, or if you just like this content, do leave a like and subscribe. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.